What is going on, guys? It is BZRKturbo and welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel, and today I'm going to show you how to make an awesome YouTube banner for your YouTube channel. This is my banner, the full picture of my banner. You probably haven't seen the full picture unless you watch it on TV, my channel on TV, which not a lot of people do, but this is my full banner and I'm going to show you how to make one kind of like this. It's one I made for my friend BZRK Pinky, and his will be on the screen right now. So this is what I'm actually going to be showing you how to make. And once I show you basically the steps to do it, you can just put whatever you want in there. You don't have to make it exactly like the one that I do. You make it how you like it. It's your YouTube channel, right? So you just take these steps and use them to make it however you want it. Mine's kind of a space themed type thing, and I think it looks really cool for my channel because that's what I like, but you do whatever you want to do. So let's get right into it. Okay, so you want to start out by getting a texture to use for your text. So I'm just going to search tech backgrounds and find one that I like. And there's a bunch of good things on Google Images you can download. You could get a picture of the sky, but it does need to be a pretty large picture. It needs to be at least 720 by 1280. If it's really small, it gets really pixelated when you try to get it big enough. So I'm just looking through some of these, and I'll choose one and then just download it to your computer and you're good. So once you found one that you like, just click on it and then make sure it's not blurry or anything. Make sure it doesn't have anything on it you don't want on it, and then just right click save image as, and then save it as something. It doesn't matter what you save it as. So I'm just going to save it as Pinky text I guess texture. So Pinky text texture, because that's for his banner. So I just saved it as that, and then you're going to want to also get two backgrounds. So one needs to be like your main background that you're going to use on the little strip that goes across the middle, and then you want a background for the rest of it. So I'm just going to look up 3D background, just something that looks pretty cool. And you just search through these and find the one that you want and do the same thing as the first one and download it. Okay guys, so I found one that looks pretty good. This one right here doesn't look half bad. So I'm going to use this one, and it is a pretty large image, which is good. The bigger the better. And it looks good, no blur on it, nothing on it I don't want. So I'm just going to click it and save as. And you can save it as whatever you want. I'm just going to save it as Pinky main background. So once you have it saved to your computer, you can then look for your third background, or your third image, which will be your last background, the actual background that's behind everything else. So you can just search anything you want. I tried sleek glass background. You could search whatever you want and just download that one, and then you should be able to go back to Adobe and go ahead and start working on it. Alright guys, so I'm going to choose this one right here for my main background, and I'm just going to click on it, save image as, save it as something, and then we should be ready to go back to Adobe. So I'll see you in Adobe. Alright guys, so we're back in Adobe. So first what you want to do is create a new file by going up to the top and clicking File and then clicking on New. And then you want your dimensions to be a certain dimension for your YouTube banner. And what I found is best is 2120 by 1193. That seems to work best, so that's what I'm going to put mine as. But as you can see, they have a bunch of presets here that you can use, and then you can save your own presets if you want to. So I have YouTube banner saved down on that one. And you could just type in on the width what you wanted, and then with the height what you wanted, and it would be exactly, so 2120 would be the width. But I have one saved down here, which is this one, and whoa, that has 40 for the width. What the heck? Let me check that again. I don't know why that's 40 pixels. Oh, it's not, it's inches. Whoops. Alright, so pixels, that's 2120 by 1193. And I would put the resolution at around 96 or 72. 96 is full HD, and if you're doing a banner, you can do full HD. I would recommend full HD. So I would just save the preset as something. You can just click Save Preset on the side, and then type in a name up top, and then click OK, and it'll save that preset. So I'm just going to do YouTube channel art and click OK. So now that's saved in my computer, and then click OK, and it brings up a transparent background that you can use for whatever you want to put on there. So I'm going to start by putting the main background on there, and I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger because it's not quite the right dimensions. So as you can see, I'm just making it a little bit bigger so that it fits the screen, and I'm getting what I want in the screen, and that looks pretty good. So now once you've done this and you have it like you want, you're going to want to go and make a really skinny clip, or I guess a really skinny picture that is going to be where your text goes and that the other strip that goes into the middle of the screen. So you want to go and make that one. I have a preset for it as well, but I will see you once we've made that. Okay guys, so if you want to know the dimensions for this, it's 2120 just like the other one, but by 350, so it's only 350 tall. So then once you've done that, you can load in the picture that you want to put for the background on this one. And it can be anything. Remember guys, like I saw a guy had a YouTube banner that was a sky, and his name was like in the sky on that one, and that looked really cool. And you can do whatever you want, but you can put that background on there. But what I'm doing right now is this is the texture that I wanted to put on the text. So I'm making it about like where I want to put the text on it. So it doesn't have to cover up the whole screen. You can just kind of put it wherever. So I'm just adjusting it how I want to adjust it. And then once you get it finished, you just need to put your text on top of it, and I will show you how to do that. So you're going to want to hit the text tool on the side, and then click anywhere on the screen and just type in what your text needs to be. I'm typing in BZRKPinky, but as you can see it was in black, and it needs to be in a color that is not on your background. So since I have white and black on my background, I'm just going to use red, because there's no red on that background at all. So I'm going to type in BZRKPinky, and then once I'm done, I'm just going to click on my mover tool, and I'm going to resize it. So right now I'm just changing the font and checking out some fonts, but then once you have it typed in, you're just going to do Control-T and resize it. Okay guys, so I've chosen a good text, a good font, so now I'm just going to hit Control-T, and then I'm going to drag it to resize it. Remember to hold down Shift if you don't want it to get warped. If you hold down Shift, it'll keep the aspect ratio correct, just like it was when it was smaller, just blown up bigger. So as you can see, I'm just kind of placing it so that I get the best texture in the text. And as you can see, I'm just placing it where I want it, and then once you're done, click the apply, the mover tool, and then apply. And then you're going to want to click the magic wand tool and then hold down Shift and click every letter. So as you can see, I'm clicking all of the places that are red. And once it's all selected like this, you're going to want to click on the bottom layer, and then you want to hit Control-C and then Control-V. And that will paste that on another layer. So as you can see, it doesn't look like there's anything there, but when we delete the background layer, whoops, I made a copy of it. Let me delete that. When we delete the background layer, you can see that the text is now that new textured text. So you can delete the original text, and now you have a text that looks super awesome. So now you can leave that layer there, and then you want to add a new layer, and then you want to click File, and then you want to click Place, and then choose the background that you wanted for this section. So I have a lot of pictures in here to use as backgrounds that I had from before, so you might not even have to go download a new one, but I did download one for them. So I'm going to go down to that image wherever I saved it, and I'm going to click on that one and then add it to this just by clicking on it and clicking Open, or Place. And once it's in there, you just resize that one so that it fits just like you did the other one. Alright guys, we are back. I had to go re-download it because for some reason it didn't download the first time. So now I have it on here, and I'm going to just click on my mover tool once it's placed and place it in, and then hit Control-T to be able to move it. And I'm going to make it a lot bigger, as you can see, so that it fits the whole the place that we're able to work in, the transparent part. We want to cover up the whole thing. So I'm just trying to make it so that it looks where it's not warped. I did warp it out some, but it doesn't look like it's that bad warped. I just made it bigger, so it fills it up, and that looks pretty good. But the text, you can barely see the text on it. So I'm going to try to change the color of the background. So you want to right click on the layer and click Rasterize Layer, and then I'm going to click on the hue. I'm going to hit Control U on my keyboard, and that's going to bring up the hue and things. That changes the color. So I'm going to make kind of a pink background. I'm putting the saturation up a good bit so that there's a lot of color there, and see how I'm kind of changing the background so that it looks like the background is different from the text, because I want it to be able to you to be able to see the text very well on there. But the text still kind of blends in the black with the black, and it doesn't look that great, so I'm going to try to change the color of it some. And really the black is just not working quite right, so I'm probably going to have to change the texture on the text, and it's not easy to just do automatically. You actually have to redo the whole thing. So since it's like that and it doesn't look the greatest, I am just going to redo that. So I'm going to click OK on there, and then I'm going to delete this layer and redo that whole process, and I'm going to actually use the picture that we're going to use as the main background. I'm going to use that for this, and then we'll use a different picture for the main background. Alright guys, so I've redone it with a new texture on the text, which is actually the background from the main background that we were going to use. I just put on the text, so we're going to have to change that background. But now I'm just going to select this layer and resize it so that it's the size I want. And don't make it go across the whole screen, because then some devices won't be able to see the whole thing. So I'm just going to put it about this size and put it right in the middle. When you move it to the middle, it should click into place a little bit. Photoshop has a feature where when it's like near the middle or in the exact corner, it should kind of click into place. So I did that, and mine should be in the exact middle. And then I'm just going to hit Control U on my keyboard to bring up the hue tool and change the color to whatever I want. So I'm going to change it to like a bright kind of lime green, because I think that goes with the pink background, and I think it looks really good. So once you've done that, you can add a little bit more text or something else to this layer. Okay guys, so once you're done with that, you can go ahead and put any text you want in here. I suggest white as being the best. So just click the text tool, click on the screen, type in what you want, and I suggest white for your secondary text. It goes with pretty much anything and just looks the best to me. So I'm just going to resize it to the size I want, let it click into the middle, and it looks pretty small like that, so I'm going to warp it and not hold shift on the edge just to make it a little bit taller like this, and I think that looks pretty good like that. And then you can add whatever texture you want to it. I'm just going to show you how to use the things, and then y'all can make it look however you want it to look. So what you're going to want to do is right click the layer that you're trying to edit and click blending options, and it'll bring up this screen right here. You can click on whichever ones you want to put on there, but I'm just going to put a gradient overlay, and I'm going to edit the overlay and make the I'm going to drag the white and black in a little bit so that it's only a little bit of blur. And as you can see, it's changing it in the background back there. And I'm just kind of looking at it and get it how I want it to do, and then I'm going to click OK. And then I'm just going to change the opacity down so that it just kind of gives it a texture to it, so that it just kind of fades from white to a little dark gray, and it gives it a little bit of 3D look. Then you can click on bevel and emboss and just change the settings on it. The depth is basically how much it fades, and the soften is basically the opacity in a way, and then size is just how much is there. So I'm just going to edit those a little bit and then go to drop shadow. And on the drop shadow, I'm going to make the distance all the way down, the spread up a pretty good bit, which makes it basically, I guess, a little bit less blurry, and then put the size up, which makes it more blurry, and then put the opacity all the way up, and click OK, and that looks pretty good. It's got some texture to it now, looks pretty 3D, and it looks good on there. So then I'm going to click on the main text layer, the BZRK Pinky, and do blending options, and click bevel and emboss. And I don't want too much bevel and emboss because it doesn't look too great on text. You probably don't even want that. I didn't put it on mine, but yeah, drop shadow's the main thing. You put the distance some down, and then I'd put the spread up a decent amount. I'd put the opacity all the way up, and then just bring the size up, and that makes it more blurry. And then just bring it down your spread until it gets exactly how you want it to be. And then once it's how you like it, it needs to be pretty blurry for it to look realistic. But that looks pretty good, so I'm just going to hit OK on that one. And once it is how you want it and the whole screen looks good, you can bring it back over into your other picture, which is your full background, and I will show you how to do that. And guys, I forgot to mention you do need to save it. Obviously, most of y'all probably knew that. But if you didn't know how, just click click File, and then click Save As. And then you can save it as a PNG or a JPEG, but I'd recommend JPEG. So just go to JPEG, click on that, and you can name it whatever you want. Make sure you remember where you saved it to so that you can go and get it easily. And then you can go ahead and put it in your other picture, and I'll show you how to do that right now. Alright guys, so we're back at our other picture, and since we used this for the texture of the text that we used, I'm just going to select the whole thing with the select tool and click delete, which just takes it off of the takes that picture off and just turns it into a green screen. And then I'm going to put the other file in there. So just click File, click Place, and then scroll down and find the file that you want to use for the background. So since the text texture that I was usually going to use for the text texture didn't work, I'm going to use that for the background. So I'm just going to find that one on my desktop and open that one into the thing, and you can resize it so that it looks good just like you did the other one. So now I've got it resized and in here, and you can also change the color of this using your hue tool if you want. So just click Rasterize Layer, right click on it and click Rasterize Layer, and then you can hit Control U with that layer selected and change the color. And since we have kind of a pink and green kind of feel to it, I'm going to leave this as a more pink color. And you can change the lightening and saturation as much as you want. This one's kind of a pink purple type thing, and you can change it however you want to change it. And the lightness basically just puts transparent white or transparent low opacity white or low opacity black layer over the whole thing to make it darker or brighter. So you really don't even have to use that feature. You could just put a whole white thing over it and change the opacity or whatever you want to do. So once you get that set, you can bring your other picture into this this project file instead of the other project file. So you can just click File, and you can make a new layer down there to put it in, and then just click File, click Place, and then find where it is on your computer. I know I saved mine to downloads. That's where I remember saving it to. So I'm just going to look through all of these, and you could even search it by name if you wanted to, or you could just scroll through like I'm doing and find it. There it is. So I'm going to click Place, and then as you can see, it's not fully on the screen, so I'm just going to drag this corner up until it reaches the top so that it stays in the center, and then I'm going to grab the other corner and drag it down until it reaches the side like that, so it stays in the exact middle of the screen. Then you just click the mover tool and place, and it's in there like you want it. And then you can click the blending options on that layer. First you want to rasterize it, and then you can click the blending options and change the things on that. I would just add a drop shadow. You don't really need anything else. So just put the opacity all the way up, and then I would put the distance all the way down, and then put the spread up a pretty good bit, and you could change the size as well. So I would put the spread all the way up, just so that it's not blurry at all, and then change the size until you get it as far away from the like the actual middle portion as you want it. So once I get it far enough away like that right there, that's how much shade I want. Then I'm just going to bring the spread down to make it blurry, and just put it as much blur on it as I want so that it looks good and texturized, like maybe that much. That looks pretty good. Yep, I like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and select all of the settings that I want for the blending options on this. You can do whatever you want to it, like maybe add an inner glow, which will also make it a little bit more 3D, but not too much. I just wouldn't put too much inner glow on it. But once you're done with that, just click OK, and you're pretty much finished. So you could just save that to your computer. I would just click File, Save As, name it, and make sure you save it as a JPEG. That's what I've found works best with YouTube. So save it as a JPEG, and you can change the name to whatever you want. And then I would save it, like once you change the name, I'm just gonna change it to Pinky. I guess I'll change it to Pinky Channel Art, and then click on it and just change the quality to 12, which is the maximum, and save it to your computer, and then you're good to go. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and until next time, peace out.